What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome to a model airplane review. It's your host Ray. In today's video, I'll be reviewing the Gemini Jet's 1/400 scale World Atlantic Airlines MD-83. This model was released in January of 2023, and I picked this up last week at the Greyland Station store here in Chicago. In this video, I'll talk about the box, then the model itself, and at the end of the video, I will give my personal opinion about what I think of the model and whether or not I recommend it to other collectors. There's not much else to say, so with that being said, let's get the review started. Starting up with the box, it's your standard 1/400 scale Gemini Jets narrow body box at 15 centimeters lengthwise and height-wise and 5 centimeters wide. I'll show you around the box now. So here's the front. Here's the bottom. I had this piece of tape here to secure the cover shut so I could get a good thumbnail. Right side, top. You can see the price there. These things keep getting more and more expensive. Left side, and here's the back side. Take a moment to read this if you'd like to. As with most Gemini Jets boxes, this box features a flap that contains some information about the aircraft family and the specific aircraft. Take a moment to read this if you'd like to. And here's the Mad Dog itself. I'll give you a quick 360 so you can get a good look at the model's features. The fuselage length for this model is 11.5 centimeters, the wingspan is 8.5 centimeters, and the model is about 2.5 centimeters tall. Accurate to 1/400 scale and fairly small compared to most things. This model is also pretty heavy because it is made out of die-cast metal primarily. There are some plastic elements to this. Starting up the review at the front of the aircraft, here we can see the nose section of the plane, and I'd already like to start by saying the nose shape is definitely not too good. Yeah, you can see the nose just appears to be, I'm not even sure, I guess, I'm not sure what went wrong with the nose here, but yeah, it's definitely a little too round, a little too fat. Yeah, that's definitely not the right nose shape, which is kind of weird since from what I've been able to see, the MD-83 mold from Gemini Jets is usually better in terms of quality control, but I mean, this is Gemini Jets, quality control isn't really their thing. But aside from that, that's the only thing I notice that's really wrong up here. Printed details look pretty good. You can see the cockpit windows and the raccoon mask around it, which looks really cool. Titles look pretty good. As we move down the aircraft, you can see the windows and all sorts of other things, all of which looks pretty good. No issues with printing. Okay, never mind. There appears to be a bit of a stain right here and a bit more down here. This one is really minor, but this one not so much. And I guess there's a piece of okay, no, that's just a piece of dust. We'll keep moving down the aircraft. Back here we can see the engines. I will talk about those shortly. And oh no. Please don't tell me that's what I think it is. Yikes. Okay, that is one hell of a paint scratch. Whoa. Okay, I did not see this initially. It appears to be a very major paint application issue. Wow. Yeah, that's not too good. In terms of the rest of the paint, I can see a bit of an alignment issue with the blue paint here and the stripe going onto the vertical stabilizer. Here's the vertical stabilizer, by the way. Apologies for my reaction there. It's because this is the first time I've really in-depth inspected every detail of the model. I did not see that paint scratch there. You can see paint alignment really isn't a thing for this model. Yeah, the green and blue stripe transferring from the fuselage to the vertical stabilizer, not too good in terms of alignment. And I can see a lot of extra glue residue, so at least they put on a decent amount of glue to keep this in place. But yeah, a lot of extra glue residue between the fuselage and the vertical stabilizer. As for the stabilizer itself, paint application looks pretty decent, except for this little thing back here. I'm not sure. I guess there was a gap or something back there. Yeah, quality control has been pretty spotty so far. Thankfully for my sanity, the right side of the fuselage is a bit better. You can see paint alignment with the stripes on the vertical stabilizer isn't as bad. Actually, it's pretty good. Glue stains are still there, and there's no giant white paint chip there. That's definitely a big one. That was very surprising to see. I don't usually see those kinds of things on Gemini Jets models, but I mean, again, their quality control is down the drain, so yeah. Moving down the right side of the fuselage, I'll just show you guys everything here. Not really any stains over here, any issues, but yeah, that was very surprising to see on the left side. And here's the right side of the nose. You can tell the nose shape's a little bit iffy there. Alright, moving on to the wings, we were definitely off to a bad start with the fuselage there. The wings look pretty solid. There's a lot of painted, printed, and molded detail. You can see the control surfaces are molded nicely. Very nice reflective silver paint. that goes around the wing, which looks really, really good. No alignment issues, no paint shifting, nothing really wrong with the wings, so that's very good to see. Bottom side of the wings also feature a pretty impressive amount of painted detail. You don't usually see these kinds of things on models these days, so that's also a very nice touch. And the right wing also appears to be pretty good quality, so at least the wings are good quality. There's that. Just kidding. Okay, God. Darn, this is starting to upset me a bit. You can see the application of the silver paint kind of spilled onto the gray gray paint here from the forward slats. You can see those splotches right there. I don't think they're supposed to be there. Let's check the other side. Yeah, you can see on the other side the application went on nicely. However, yeah, on the right side things didn't go too well. So dang, I thought the wings were good, but I guess not. I'm going to move back to the rear section of the aircraft. Here we can see the horizontal stabilizers. These look okay. Just kidding. No more paint application issues with the silver right here on the left side. Wow. Okay, yeah, the quality control on this model really is not doing too hot. There's also the green stripe here that I guess they're supposed to meet at the top of the tail here, which they don't align very well. That and the stripe is not complete, so they can't really align. Underside looks better. Here's the underside of the aircraft. And since from this section I usually move on to the engines, and the engines are back here, I'm just going to move right on to the engines. Engines on this model look solid, for compared to everything else at least. Yeah, shapes look good. I do notice that here on the parts that hold the engines, there is a bit of blue paint that spills over onto the white paint. Yeah, nothing too major compared to what other absurdities we've seen on the model, but yeah, still pretty bad. Engine is also tilted slightly downwards. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a feature or if that's an issue, but I'm going to hope that's a feature. Here's what the fan blades look like. The fan blades look pretty good. At least they're nicely detailed, especially for the size of the engines. Yeah, engines look solid except for the blue spilling over onto the white, but that's really the only hitch I have with the engines. In terms of aerial details, there is one singular antenna on this aircraft, and it's right here at the top of the fuselage. This looks good. I haven't seen any issues with attachment or anything. Alignment looks good. Yeah, don't really notice anything wrong with it, so it looks good. Moving to the bottom of the aircraft, here we can see a lot of printed details, including the cargo bay doors. Those look pretty good. And the landing gear. Now, I'd like to talk a bit about the landing gear. Since I bought this at a store, I was able to observe multiple examples. So here's the main landing gear. You can kind of already see it's a bit iffy, but the wheels roll rather smoothly on this example. I did encounter, I think it was 2 units that had wheels that didn't roll, and even then these roll a bit stiff. But an issue I noticed was the landing gear being tilted and bent in the wrong direction. Here you can kind of see how both landing gears are uneven. And yeah, I guess alignment with the landing gears really wasn't too good with this release because, yeah, their alignment's not right. The balance, I'm willing to bet it's not right. But yeah, that was pretty upsetting to see. As for the nose landing gear, I'm not sure if this is supposed to roll because this one doesn't roll and none of the other examples at the store did, so I'm going to assume it's not supposed to roll. But there was a huge gray stain on the wheel here that I managed to clean off with a bit of scratching and paint thinner. But yeah, the quality control on the nose gear hasn't really been good either. I've seen other ones that had the wheel twisted. Some of the wheels were straight up off and they weren't with the model. It was just, yeah, quality control has been really spotty from what I've seen so far. Alright, here's a look at the front of the aircraft, and you can see the cockpit windows are definitely slanted towards the right side of the aircraft. But aside from that, things look pretty good for the most part. Wait, no, just kidding. The engines look a little bit slanted as well, kind of slanted towards the right. The left engine is bent a bit more upwards than the right engine. Wings look good in terms of wing flex, and gear balance also looks good, although you can see the left main landing gear has a wheel that's not touching the ground. And vertical stabilizer looks aligned, so I guess there's that. Well, that concludes the review, and if you can't tell by my voice already, I think you can kind of guess what my opinion's going to be. So, overall, this was really surprising and sad to see. Honestly, I expected the quality control to be a little bit better. But I mean, this is Gemini jets, and they're not really known for their quality control these days. As for the paint chip and the paint alignment issues, that was really a surprise to me. I didn't notice that paint chip until now. So that's why it caught me off guard. So with that being said, do I recommend this model to other collectors? Honestly, this is the first time I've done this in a while. I do not. The quality control on the examples I saw and my example here is just appalling. And I mean, Gemini Jets keeps raising the prices for these, and they're absurdly expensive for not only 1 to 400 scale models, but at the quality they're being produced at. It's really just not fair. It's not good. So if you want this aircraft, you can get it. It's a huge risk and a half, and you're almost guaranteed to have quality control issues based on what I've seen. So yeah, proceed with caution if you want to buy one. But if you don't have to buy one for like an airport or something, or you just don't want this aircraft, don't get it. It's honestly not worth it. Well, at least I can warn my fellow collectors about this kind of problem. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the delay in videos. My projects have been taking up my time, if you saw in my birthday update video. I did finish the one I was working on, so I'll be making a video on that shortly. So, but that's all I've got for you guys today. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more model airplane reviews. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in my next video.